Hey friends, it's Father Jay. I'm joining you today from the Calvary Churchyard, where I'm flanked by the graves of Daniel Blake and Helen Blake, the two of the founders of Calvary Church. And right below them in the ground is a marker for the grave of Fanny Blake, who is their descendant. And Fanny Blake is a foundational figure in the life of Calvary Church as well. She dedicated her life to the education of children here at Calvary and started Calvary's first Sunday school. Now, at that time, in the late 19th century, Sunday schools were one of the few places where literacy skills were taught. So they used the Bible as their text and taught children to read and write when public education was not readily available in a rural area such as Fletcher was at the time. And in order to support their work, their literacy work here in the community, Fanny Blake and other members of Calvary Church started a tradition. They would gather each August and cook some of their favorite dishes and then share them with the community at a meal to which they sold tickets. And that meal became known as the August Supper. And that supper continues to this day. And this month we will have the August Supper, but we are planning it in a little bit different way. I'm sure that Fanny Blake and her contemporaries were used to dealing with pandemics and other emergencies in the community, and we are dealing with the same scenarios today. And so this year, our August Supper will be takeout. You'll be able to reserve a plate or two or three and come by and pick them up and take them home. There will also be a very limited number of picnic dinners available for those who would like to come, pick up their food, and eat it here at Calvary on the grounds in anticipation of attending the outdoor Eucharist that we will hold later that day as well, because the August Supper is going to take place on the 30th of August, the same day that we will have our next outdoor Eucharist. So I hope that you will keep an eye out for those plans and make your intention to join us in one way or another on the 30th of August for those events. And we are grateful to be in a place where tradition exists, and we're also grateful to be stewards of this place where people like Fanny Blake and her predecessors, Helen and Daniel Blake, are laid to rest. And it is the stories of the people who are buried here that sustain us and that carry us forward. And as we have gathered to talk about what it means to be blessed with memory, one of the things that is becoming clear is that the memories that we are blessed with are the memories and the stories of the people who are buried in this place. And it's their stories that we are looking to tell more fully. We're looking to do that in several ways. One of those is as we work to implement a new system of software for our churchyard and for managing it. That way we will be better able to locate and direct people to the graves of those who are buried here who have a story to tell. And of the 7,000 people who we believe to be buried here, there are at least 7,000 stories to tell. So we look forward to being able to direct people to them more clearly and to be able to tell their stories more fully. Of course, that will affect how we choose to tell the stories of those who are remembered by the monuments on the south side of this property. And we'll be looking for ways to more appropriately balance our attention to those stories versus our attention to the stories of all the people here. We are also looking at ways to more fully utilize this whole property. We have engaged a landscape architect to help us work on planning the use of this whole space, including the churchyard, but also and especially that area on the east side of the campus that was cleared last spring in order to be better neighbors to those who were on our borders and who were being impacted by trees as they fell on them. And so look in the days ahead, and especially towards the end of the month, for more information about the recommendations that have been coming from that landscape architect and to our Buildings and Grounds Committee, incorporating the input that we gathered last year in a session with the Master Gardener, Allison Arnold. All of that information is being funneled into a set of recommendations that we will then bring to you for your input, for your reaction, and for your advice as we are going ahead. So I hope that you will join us again towards the end of August for some of those sessions. And all of this has to do with how we tell the stories of this place and the people who are here, and how we are good stewards of the stories that are entrusted to us. And there are stories of our faith that have been entrusted to us and which we pass on to our children, both through Sunday school activities and through Vacation Bible School activities. And the group that has put on Vacation Bible School this year has done a terrific job of assembling a set of resources and of providing our children with a set of items to help them enter into those stories. And if you haven't seen it, I hope you'll go to our website, calvaryfletcher.org, and look at the resources that are provided there under the Vacation Bible School and see those stories. And we also know that stories about Calvary and the people who live here and the people whose lives affect ours are continuing to be told. They're being told every day in your actions, and they're being told each time a person passes on, each time a person of faith dies. We gather together to remember their lives and to tell their stories. And particularly in this moment, it has become increasingly challenging to let you know that those events are happening. And we have heard from a number of you that you would like to receive information on a regular basis when a member of our community dies and is going to be remembered, either here at Calvary or at another place. So we are going to begin to send that information out to the community. If it is possible to include it in our Friday newsletter, we will include it there. If circumstances are such that we need to send information to the community outside of the Friday newsletter to get it there in a more timely manner, we will inform you that way. But one way or the other, we are going to strive to communicate more often about these events. And I am deeply grateful to all of you who have communicated that you want to receive that information, that being involved in one another's lives is an important aspect of who we are as Calvary. And in order to do that during this time and in the days ahead, that you would like for us to communicate that information. So that's what we're going to do. And again, I'm so very grateful for your attentiveness to one another, your attentiveness to this community. And in this time, we pray that God will bless you and keep you, that God's face will shine upon you and give you peace, both today and in the days to come. Amen.